morning. I have had some interesting Facebook comments this morning that spawned some thoughts in me I want to share. Quite often I will come across Christians who try to impose their all-powerful image of God on me and others who don't agree with the biblical literalness, and I've got to thinking on this. Often these statements are being made in a veiled threat. For example, you are not God and you're going to bow down before him, before the real God. And I like to analyze the subconscious, unconscious reasons for such statements. First of all, I do understand that we do have the conscious affinity with what we have written, what we have read in the Bible. And that's one reason why we say it, because it's been spelled out in the Bible like that, that every knee shall bow to Jesus Christ. Okay, we read that. But now I want to address the unconscious affinity with that. And remember, it is unconscious. It means when you hear me say this, you don't know what I'm talking about, because you are unconscious of what's going on in your soul. So I'm going to try and spell it out, why we have an affinity with an all-powerful God that our enemies will bow their knee to. In all likelihood, when you grew up, you were bullied, either by parents, by your peers, it doesn't matter who, but you experienced the trauma of being bullied, of being hurt, actually. And so there is this subconscious, unconscious wound in the soul from that experience during childhood. And because of that pain, soul pain, unconsciously we wish and long for an all-powerful God that's going to get even with our enemies, right? Because we couldn't subdue them. We couldn't subdue the bully. We now need to have this God that will subdue those who hurt us. And that's why we have this unconscious affinity to the all-powerful God. And we stress his power and his authority. I always relate our human issues and the way we express that back to our soul. Our soul is the star player in this movie, in this life script. Our soul is the God essence, the innocence of God that experiences everything. But we're unaware of what's going on in the soul. Our ego has hijacked our soul. Because the soul got so damaged that it could not stand up for itself. So the ego had to take that role of defense. And and so when we hear someone say to us, "You are not God, and you will bow to the real God," that's the veiled threat that comes through the ego mind that is seeking to protect the soul from feeling that embarrassment and hurt that was experienced during childhood. So everything is generated from the soul. That's why the soul is God. And I know it's difficult to understand, but I'm going to keep expressing this maybe from different angles, and one day it's going to click together as one. And we can actually bring ego and soul and spirit consciousness into one whole being, one entity.